Hey guys, welcome back. I wanted to make this video because finally I'm going to give you the secret to Bujinkan Budo Taijutsu. In fact, not just the secret to it, I'm going to give you the secret to excelling at it, to doing things you never even thought you could do before, to reaching the highest levels you can possibly reach. And it's not just even limited to our art, it's limited to any martial art you take, anything you want to do. And this is it. This is the secret to it. It's something that, look, I've been in this art for decades and it has never failed. This right here is the make or break secret. You ready for this? Show up. That's it. Show up. But it's not so simple. Here's the thing about showing up. Well, let me first start out by saying this. You'll hear people say 70% of achieving anything is just being there, it's showing up, right? And for the most part, that's true. Oftentimes, the hardest part of anything is just getting off your butt and actually going there, actually doing it. And I can relate this to like working out, right? Going to the gym. That there's days you're not going to feel like going and you're just like, oh my God, I'm sore, I'm tired, I got this going on, that going on. And it's easy to find all these reasons and then you end up not going. And it's in those times where it's difficult to find the motivation. It's difficult to just go. Yet when you're feeling good and when you're motivated, of course it's easy to go, but you're not always going to be that way. Well, when it comes to martial arts, it's the same thing. When it comes to Bujinkan training, at first there's a honeymoon period and you're excited and everything. And you can even have waves of this excitement where maybe you haven't been able to train for, a few weeks or whatever, especially with Corona. And then you get reignited, you start going again, and you're like, oh my God, I love this. I love it. I love it. I miss it. And you're excited, but that's not always going to be the case. That's that honeymoon period. You're going to reach that point where maybe you're in a stagnation. Maybe it's just kind of becomes a habit or a routine or whatever. You just don't feel like it. You don't feel that magic anymore. You don't feel that love and passion you have for your training. So in those moments is when you make a choice. You make a choice. And let me tell you something. Something I have learned is that when it comes to martial arts training or fitness or anything like that, I've never, ever regretted going. Never have I regretted going. Even when I didn't feel like going, I was always happy I did. But there are many times where I made the decision to not go and later thought, oh man, I should have went. It, and that's the whole point. Showing up is 70% of it, right? But here's the other part. What does showing up also mean? It means when you're there, you have to be there. When you come through that door, you have to leave everything outside. Be present. Bring your A game because just being there, just coming in, putting your keiko gi on, your dabi, playing, whatever with the people that are there, socializing, sitting on the mat, doing the stretches. Oh, let's go through the sanshi no kata. Let's do this. Let's do that. It's easy to just go through the motions, but that's not showing up. To really show up means you are showing up ready. You are showing up ready to be a student of martial arts. If you are a teacher, you are showing up ready to be that teacher, ready to be that senpai. And I did a video on senpai and kohai, and I recommend you go back and watch that because it really has to do with responsibility. And I think this is probably the most important point about all of this is that you have a responsibility when you show up. You have a responsibility to yourself and you have a responsibility to everybody else around you. When you come in with a stinky attitude and you come in unmotivated and you come in with just this dragging your lip, whatever, that's going to negatively affect everybody else there. And maybe there are people there who also were really struggling to really show up, but they're there. And now here you are bringing a funk to them. So showing up is, yes, making the conscious choice to show up. And no, you're not always going to feel like it. Yes, we all go through garbage. Yes, there are days that we're down, we're low energy, and it's nice to come in and be around people who are positive, who have motivation, who have fire in the training. But at some point, you have to be responsible. Nobody is going to change that in you. You change that. So, my suggestion is number one, show up, and not just show up consistently, show up regularly. Martial arts is like anything else. You're not going to just come in and suddenly be all and going and put all this effort in and then advance to the next level really quick. It doesn't work like that. It takes consistent, progressive effort. You have to keep investing into it to build yourself, build your skills, build your knowledge. This means being uncomfortable. You have to come in fired up enough that it overrides your discomfort. Yes, it is not comfortable. It's not comfortable to commit to 1, 2, 3 days a week with a busy schedule and jobs and everything else. But if you really want to grow, if you really want to progress as a martial artist, you have to. It's not even a want, it has to be a must. You must do it. You must show up. And you must show up mentally too, ready to practice. Practice hard. That doesn't mean do a few repetitions, start talking about the weekend or overanalyzing what you're doing and existing up here. Martial arts is here. It's the body. You have to move. Taijutsu, body art. You have to move your body, and not just move your body like you're dancing but I mean like really, really move with a mindfulness about improving things, the little things. Every time you move, it's an analysis of trying to look for what you can improve. And then the next repetition, you are also going to improve that as well. So every repetition is getting better and better. You have to be willing to go through the struggle of that. So many people practice and they stop when things get discomfort or when they experience that discomfort or they get uncomfortable. The other part about showing up is, and this kind of I've alluded on this too, it's the spirit. What spirit are you showing up with? And I don't mean this in some sort of guru-esque or whatever, spiritual, whatever. I just mean your spirit as in your energy. What energy are you showing up with? What is your spirit? What is that warrior spirit, that fighting spirit? Are you bringing that with you when you show up? It's one thing to want to go, that's your mind. It's another thing to then make your body go, that's your body. But it's also another thing that your spirit is into it, that you're fired up, that you have that drive, that passion. And if you can't find that in yourself, then I really think that requires some deep study as to why you're in this art. Ask yourself why. And if it's because you like the social dynamic, if it's because it's something fun to do on a Wednesday night or whatever, cool. But again, understand that in order to grow in something, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable, put in the hard work, and do it consistently over and over and over and over again long enough that it builds progress. This requires a spirit. This requires something inside you that can't be taught. No instructor is going to teach you that. There is no book, video, there is no secret formula, magic pill that's going to give that. You carry that in you, that spirit. And that's something that you yourself have to grow. You have to foster it. You have to find it, nurture it, and build it. You can have the crappiest technique. You can have the lowest amount of knowledge of your art. But if you have all the spirit and the passion, you're going to come in like fire. And I guarantee you will develop the skill and the knowledge because your spirit is going to drive you through it like a lightning bolt. And that's what is missing in a lot of people is that passion and spirit right now because there's so much going on. And I don't want to go too far into this. I have another video where I talk about this, but stay connected to your passion, stay connected to your reason why, and show up. Just keep showing up. If you keep showing up, things are going to happen for you. Now, it's okay if you're not feeling it. It's okay to be down sometimes. And showing up is great. Even if you're not feeling it, show up anyway, because there is something very important about the collective energy of people and how that can really kind of get you out of your funk. Of course, we all benefit from that. But be mindful of that when you're in that phase and ask yourself why and be responsible with yourself. It's nobody else's responsibility to pull you out of your funk. It's your responsibility to do it. But at the same time, don't not show up, because isolation just feeds that ugly monster. So definitely come around. In my dojo, we do once a month. We have what we just kind of call Valhalla Night. It's not really Japanese, but nothing else fits kind of what it is. But it's our time to really set aside curriculum. We do a bunch of just exciting drills and just have fun training. And then afterward, we bring food and drinks and we sit around and we laugh, we barbecue and do fellowship and everything late night. But it's once a month. It's the first Thursday of every month, and that's become one of the most popular nights of the month for my school, because that is very valuable, that fellowship. And so I understand the need for that right now in a lot of people's lives. But even that, people show up because they understand the value of that. They know what it does for them. So for you, if you're somebody struggling showing up, maybe you need to reevaluate what your training is for you. And it's okay to take a break from training if you know why you're doing it. If it's just because you don't feel like it and you feel, I'm poo poo, I'm whatever, and you end up just kind of slipping farther and farther, that's different. That's something else. So, anyway, appreciate you listening to me. And as I always say, stay happy, stay healthy. No matter what, keep training.